wanted to do a video on the difference between a Ferplast cage and a Wabbitat cage and go through exactly what the difference are, because there are a few different kind of differences that we have noticed. We did a lot of research on different cages and we did a lot of reviews on the two different cages, and here's what we found. On the Ferplast cage, if you don't have the extension, it is 39 inches long. Now with the extension, it's 55 inches long. So there is a little bit of a difference between the two cages. And we'll go into what the other one for the length on the Wabbitat cage is. But the Ferplast cage is 39 inches without the extension and 55 with the extension. Now we also see that the difference in the colors are the same on here. They're both the gray and the red, and everything looks to be the same. Interior looks to be the same, and I'll show you the interior of what that looks like. And then now we'll go to the other one. Now, one thing before we move on I wanted to show you is the Ferplast cage does not have an opening up on the top, while the Wabbitat does have an opening up on the top. It's just plain bars and stuff like that, where the Wabbitat, you can open it from there. So that's a huge thing. The other thing too is on this cage, you just have one large door, and on the Wabbitat cage, you have two small doors. So that's another thing that is. Now on this cage, it does not, so because it has a long door, this is what I see. I see that if you look at it, it's a little bit wobbly over on the one side because it is a longer door. I don't really necessarily like the longer door because of that situation, because I can tell that it's starting to sag over here on the sides from being pushed and being moved around and things like that. I do see that it is the same sturdiness. It is not a 5-star cage at all, either is the Wabbitat either. But if I would have to go, I would probably do it at a 3 to a 3.5, maybe a 4, but I wouldn't go any more than a 4. Because of the fact that, one, it was really, really hard to set up, but two, you can just see wear and tear just by the little times that I've used it to see that, it's sagging here. It's just not like put together like a 5-star cage would be by far. Here is the other difference that I see that, the Wabbitat doesn't, or the Wabbitat has, that this one doesn't have, obviously, like I said, is the top. You can't open it or whatever. But other than that, you have all the other amenities that the other cage does have. And it does come with the feeding tray, the feeding bowl, like so. It does come with the little thing that you can have your rabbit up here if they want to jump on here, but obviously I don't have that because my rabbits have babies and I don't want to have any issues with that. So I took them all out. It has enough to put the potty tray in there and stuff like that, and I'll get you a little bit more closer in detail here in just a second. It also does come with a water bottle. I choose to change my water bottles to Lixit because them other water bottles were leaking, so I didn't want to do that. It also came with a hay rack. Unfortunately, our hay rack broke on this one, so you won't be able to see the hay rack, but it is the same hay rack, probably a 1/2 star, if that. It is very flimsy, maybe a 1 star. But it is very flimsy, it's easy to break, and we walked in and we accidentally hit it and it cracked, and it was to the point where we couldn't use it anymore, so we quit using that. We just have hay on the ground, or on the ground of their cage, on the bottom of their cage, to figure out kind of what's going on with that. We do have a couple different things hanging up for them. We are getting new stuff. Like I said, these are new cages, so doing that. Also, I wanted to tell you the difference between this cage in that cage, I wanted to mention to you with the extension. Now with the extension, it's 55 here. It is larger with the extension on the Wabbitat cage. And I'll explain that to you when we go over to the Wabbitat cage here. But here are some views of the interior of this cage, so you can kind of see the same thing. They look similar. So when you are doing this, see how it's a one door. I just wanted to show you this. This is what I was talking about, is up over here. So when you do push it up, and you have to push it down into the groove here, you're pushing this up, and then it's pushing on this part of that cage over there. This is not the cage that I like, so this is not one that I would probably recommend. I would recommend the Wabbitat cage before this cage because of that situation. Also, there is no top where you can get into your rabbit if you needed to or whatever like that. It doesn't have that, but this is the major thing right here, is it's moving and pushing on that. Now, if you didn't have the extension and you just wanted something small, a 39-inch cage, that's okay too. But you'll notice the difference between the two differences with. Now what I had to do is I had to buy this cage and then buy the extension because that's all they had for this cage. Now going into the cage, you can see that it is similar. You have the little step up. See how the rabbit has to step up to this? You have the little step up to go into the extension part. We did put a poop tray in there, which I love. We have her drinks there, and we just have, you know, it all over. We have this hay here due to the baby rabbits are finally sometimes, see if I can get the picture of them. I'm in here, so you're gonna see a little bit of my shadow because we're getting it all ready. But yeah, so this is what this looks like. It is a Ferplast cage. It is a little bit smaller than the other cage. This is the Wabbitat cage that we just got. Now, the difference between the sizes on the Wabbitat cage and the Ferplast that we just seen, the Ferplast cage without the extension was 39 inches. Now with the extension, it was 55 inches. With this cage, without the extension is 47 inches, and with the extension is 63 inches. Now we did some reviews and looked at different cages, and we kind of wanted to see what was the better fit for us. And what we found out, that if you bought the cage separate from the extension, you would get a little bit more footage and a little bit bigger cage. Now again, with this cage was 47 inches without the extension, 63 with the extension. So it's a little bit bigger anyways. We looked at the different ones that you could buy the extension like this with the cage, and still it was bigger footage wise with this cage doing it separate. So that's what we did. Now with this cage, you can also buy one that you can buy a hutch. So you can keep the extension if you want, and then now go and put a hutch on this side of the cage, or you can just buy one and have the extension be the hutch. So you can do that different ways too. But as we were looking about that too, we were also looking that if you did it separate, you would do it. So it was, I think it was $79.99, $79.99 with this, and then I think it was $39.99 for the extension, I do believe. I'll have to put the price on the bottom of this description down below. Now I did notice too with the Ferplast cage, as I said, you didn't get that opening. Now with this cage, the Wabbitat cage, it's just a opening. You can open it up on the top so you can get to your rabbit and do whatever you want. If you're on the floor and you want to get in this way, you can do that, which I like, because if there are babies here and I need to get into it in a hurry, I can also do it that way too, taking out their boxes and things like that. Now it's just an easy clip in here and an easy clip in there. if you don't get your finger stuck like I did, it'd be great. But so that was easy. Now another difference is between this one is it does come with the, I don't know if you can see it, I'm sure maybe. It does come with the hay rack. It does come with the drinking bottle. We did change the drinking to a Lipstick bottle because this one is a lot better. The other one leaked a lot, so we went with the Elixir bottle. Again, be very careful with the feeding the hay racks because the hay racks can bust quite quickly and they're easy to do. So that's how that one went. Now the difference between this one too is you have two doors. You have one door, two door, which I like this a lot better because the hinges aren't getting on this one here because they connect up to the extension. And what I noticed is when you're moving this, it's not hitting and pulling on it as much as this one here, the Ferplast did. So I do like that. And also if I just wanted to get to the poop tray, I can just go in this way. Also, what both Ferplast and this one does is you can open the sides. They have an opening on each, on just this side here that you can flip open and it goes all the way like that. And you can get in here and clean the poop tray. If you got a poop tray, you can clean whatever you got to do and then you can put it back. Now we have our trays, our potty trays, like positioned to where we don't want to use this. So we probably won't use it a whole lot, but it is there for someone that would want to do it. We have the poop trays that are in the corner that we just take and go like that and it is on. So that is another good reason to get this cage. We also know, isn't she cute? She's due tomorrow, I do believe. So the way that I have this positioned, it's really hard to show you. So I'm going to try my best. But it's the same thing as the other cage. And I do have her potty box and I have her hay down there. And we do give her just different hay because she is due tomorrow. Hi, how are you? She's like, I'm just camera shy. Okay, so on here, you want a treat, do ya? I'll get you a treat in just a second. Here is a Wabbitat cage that we put together that doesn't have a rabbit in it, so then therefore you can see what it looks like without the rabbit. It does have the tray here for the hay, and I have enough room just for some of the poop tray, and it does have a little area right here. And then you do have the awesome little gridded, like I showed you in the last one, they're gridded. Sorry for the shadows, but in this room it's shadow central. But then you have the top here where it has the ladder where you can go ahead and walk up the ladder. There's what the ladder looks like. And then, trying to stay out of the, and then it does have the bowl where you can do the bowl, and the bowl is one that comes out. Okay, this bowl can come out and in. So I want to show you a little hack that I did to help your rabbits if you have a rabbit that gets scared easily, or if you have a rabbit that likes to spray, or you think might want to spray, or anything like that. This is a good idea for you. I went to Joann Fabrics and I got some fabric and I placed it all along the sides here. So that way the rabbit won't go potty on the walls or any of that sort. And then it gives it a little bit privacy too if you wanted to do that, or if your rabbit was a little skittish or whatever, it can also be very helpful for that too. But that's just something that I did and I thought it was really cute. And I also thought that I could put it in the wash machine. I went to Walmart and I just got some of these and then I just positioned them on every few here, and it went all the way around the cage. Your rabbit won't get this, and you can also go like that too if you really wanted to, or you can just leave it up. Your rabbit is not gonna get that at all. It's on there, it ain't going anywhere. So that's what I did with my cage on some of them. And on this cage, we just stuck it on the side over there because she kept on getting scared every time that we'd walk into the room. So we just put it like that on this one. But other than that, this one, she doesn't ever spray or anything, so we didn't need to do that with her, and she didn't care. She's pretty chill, so that one we didn't have to do. And what I like about it too is it's a little bit high up. So one, babies aren't going to come out, but two, if they do tend to pee or spray, it's going to be on that instead, and then you just vinegar and water it, and it is clean. I hope that helped you to know the difference between the Ferplast cage and the Wabbitat cage. By far, I would pick the Wabbitat cage and then stick the extender on after the fact because you're getting a bigger cage. I also know the difference that, like I said, on this part right here, having the two separate doors are a lot better than just having the one door, because it is starting to get a little bit where it's starting to like wobble a little bit more on one side than the other. So I am glad that I got more of these cages and I only got one Ferplast cage. I'll have to someday change it out. Now the good thing is if say your cage gets too nasty from your rabbit and you just can't, and it's old and whatever, you can always take it apart too and get a new cage or get a new this or that. Or if you use this for a litter pan, like some of them were using the extension area for the litter pan and it got too nasty and it wouldn't get good, you can always buy a new one and it can just be put right back onto your cage. So that's a good idea too. So I hope this helped you, and have a great day.